Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, it's probably going to be an annoying one to record for me, given that the Swans went down by 39 points. The first time they've really been pumped, and the first signs of really starting to be a little bit worried. I'm not saying it's season over, etc., like I've seen across social media, etc., etc. There are some definite worries for the Swans now. Their midfield got bullied, whether that be Rowbottom not being there, not helping out, and then also their key defensive issues, chaos there down there for the third straight year. I think I've said it again. The fact that they had 5 members of their key position personnel that were either massively injury prone or were not trusted by the coaching staff is a massive issue. That's like almost, given that most of them were senior signed, main listed signed, that's almost eighth of your list that is not really trustable, which is kind of worrying, especially when you add the rookies in for that segment of the ground, and then also the other segments. You start to get a really worrying list dynamic. And now that is coming true, that the injury is coming down there, then that's where the worrying sign is. But let's just jump into this, rip the band-aid off, etc., and get it going. Matty Roberts, 138. I mean, when the ball's down there enough, you're going to get a lot of the ball. And he has shown that he can gather the pill. 37, 35, 35, 37, 34, 35, 32. He was just ultra consistent. And yeah, he definitely deserves to be in our back line. I mean, he was one of the only ones that showed up and actually used the ball well enough. I mean, he did turn the ball over 9 times and 4 clangers, but he had 36 touches in general, so it was not the worst display from him. I mean, probably could have been better with his disposal use, but yeah, I mean, he was just, there wasn't much they could do. Gordon, 114, he did really well in the last quarter, so good to see him get some fantasy score, but I mean, he didn't really do much in general. Brody Grundy was winning all the hitouts, but they were just going to the opposition, basically. And yeah, he had a tackle taken away late and didn't really contribute late on. Would have been nice to have seen him contribute late on, but I think he was just sat on the bench the last 10 minutes. 15 touches for him, 4 marks, 6 tackles, 43 hitouts. He can hold his head up. He did at least try and put as much effort as he could in. Not like many of the others. Heaney, 108, he did a lot of work in the last quarter. 36 points in the last quarter, 28 in the first. So he was pretty consistent. Would have liked to have seen more out of him in the second, but there's not much he really could have done. He ended up with 32 touches, 6 tackles, 6 marks, 3 tackles, and a behind. His foot skills probably weren't the best, but still, he's not the problem in the midfield. Jake Lloyd, 104. He's back to his best of getting a lot of marks there. He ended up with 4 tackles as well. As well, 25 touches, 8 marks, 4 tackles on the wing. So pretty good effort from him. He's getting towards that age where he starts to, I think, what's he now, 31 or something? I think he's going to start to probably, in the next sort of 12 to 18 months, let me actually check AFL, there we go, he's turning 31 in September, so I wouldn't be surprised if he hangs it up in the next sort of 18 to 24 months, given that he's going to get towards that age. Blakey at 91, Adams 89, starting to question whether Adams is actually necessarily needed for the Swans. He did end up with 24, 6 and 4, but I just wonder if they could use like a Sheldrick and then use Chad Warner at half forward or something like that rather than Taylor Adams, as I feel like they've really blocked in Angus Sheldrick a little bit. So we'll see what happens at selection table, whether they do get rid of Sam Wicks, push Chad Warner up the field, and then move maybe Angus Sheldrick on ball. Maybe that could work. Adam, Florent, McLean, Parker, 71, coming off the sub. Don't know why he was sub. 36 in the last quarter from him was absolutely huge. Didn't actually sit out the last quarter, it looks like. He had an absolute huge game. Came on 15 minutes into the second quarter and pretty much just was on track. If he had actually played out a quarter and a half more of footy, he would have been on track for like a 110. So yeah, interesting to see where he eventually lines up. Let's just check this. This was Mills, but let's check the CBAs for the Swans, because I just want to check where the likes of Parker will end up. He had 30, 24, 25% CBAs, and CBAs aren't everything, but we'll see here. He has played 57% time on ground for 30% CBAs, so that's probably not a good indication of where he will end out, which is a little bit annoying, as I do want him to probably end out as a forward rather than a mid, or at least a mid forward, as he could be fantasy relevant next year. So hopefully they bring in the potentially just Rowbottom coming in makes him maybe a sort of 20% CEA type of guy rather than the 35-40% that we're seeing at the moment, especially when he's sub. But hopefully also the fact that he was this 30 and 38 game will get negated a little bit more in the future, as they do need to. We do want to see him. I mean, it isn't all about CBAs as well. We know that it's about their positioning around the ground as well. So hopefully he was more forward rather than on in the middle. But I couldn't really tell. Mills as well. I did look at this, and I don't know if he'll be a forward or not, and I don't know if he'll actually have any fancy relevance. He only had 12 touches, 5 marks, 5 tackles, and a goal. So he did kick a goal again. But yeah, I just don't know if he's going to be fantasy relevant next year. Cunningham, McCartan, Marty, Warner, McDonald, Campbell, Jordan, Fox, Warner as well. Chad Warner only a 38, a really poor display from him, beaten out by his brother pretty comfortably, 17-8, 17-17 from Corey. So it shows that he can do something on that wing. So it'll be interesting to see how he developed and if he gets more game time. But yeah, Chad had an absolute stinker. And then Hayward, Melican, and Wiggs played the full game for a 29 and only had, only had 4 tackles in the game. So his tackling was up, but aside from that, he had 8 touches and 2 free kicks against and no goals. So I don't really see how he got back into the senior side for a full game when he was really doing nothing in the twos. So I hope to see maybe some change there. Treloar absolutely dominated the Swans. He was the better trade-in last week over Dunkley now. But I couldn't have known that probably at the time. It's just more of a hindsight thing now that we know that. As he's gone 1-2-5 here, as you see. Ed Richards 114. I didn't think about Ed Richards, but yeah, I just don't think he'll be potentially consistent enough. Tim English 91, probably time for him to go, even though I just brought him in. He's just sucked at the moment. Dale, Norton, Hugo Hagan, Lob, Bontempelli, McNeil, Libra, Bramble, West, Drea, Jones, Poulter, Williams, Darcy. Going through all those guys, probably Bontempelli, the only guy that's really fancy relevant out of them all, and he dropped an 81. So yeah, he had a stinker. Just as we thought Bont was getting back into his form, etc., he drops an absolute stinker and is now back with the pack, basically. Williams, Darcy, Garcia, Caulfield subbed out on a 45. Waitman, Karmas, Vandermeer, and Daniels will be an interesting one to see how he goes, given that he has played he's surely hit the 10 marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's now up to 11 games, so his average will be taken this year. If he moves clubs, him at like 48 or whatever will be an interesting to see. If I will actually just check what's his general positioning, because you will be able to tell. Let me actually just chuck that there. There we go. Let's grab him up and just check this in general. That's defensive. I don't really potentially see him as much. I don't see him getting that. It'll be tough to see him get that forward status again, but we'll see about that. As him and another club as a backman, as a forward, classified player will be really good to see. But anyway, that pretty much is the video there going through the Sydney versus Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs put themselves right in the premiership hunt. Sydney waning away a little bit. They still have a little bit of a lead, so we'll see if they kick back into gear. But it is ominous signs, I guess, for Swans. But anyway, if you did enjoy that video there, oopsie, back, wrong hotkeys. If you did enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload, and let's, I guess, finish. See you guys tomorrow, I guess. I keep on stuffing up that whole saying there, but anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.